Hello, Dave here again, and today I'm going to do a quick review of the Alpha Ultima II 10K filter for garden and koi ponds. I've had this filter in my possession now for about 7 years, so I have a lot of experience using it. So I think I can add some input into the good and bad points about the filter itself. I think this is a great filter. Again, it's been in my possession about 7 years. I've never had any mechanical problems whatsoever. It does have its challenges though, which I'll get into in a second here. The tank is a customary tank made by Hayward, who makes most of the tanks that go with these floating bed and sinking bed filters. The top is your standard multi-port style. I don't know if Hayward actually makes this one, but they're pretty much the same for many of the filters that do this kind of filtration. The input of the filter comes into the top level here, and the output is here, and then on the right side we have the backwash. The tank stands about 42 inches tall, 2 feet around. It's a sinking bed media type, and it's filled with this media from the bottom straight up to about around here in the top, so it carries a lot of media in this thing. This thing is actually marketed as a biological / mechanical filter, and the media that's used for doing that does a particularly good job on the bio side, but the criticisms I have it are on the mechanical side, which I'll get to in a second here. Let me show you the media that we're talking about. So here's the sinking bed media, as you can see, and at the top here you'll see some detail on the media itself. There are some what I call striations along the top. That is some molded lines on the outside of the media that are generally used for increasing the surface area. And on the inside, I hope you can see this, but on the inside you can see kind of a Y molded inner core. And again, that's used to increase the surface area of the media as much as possible. Give you a little scale here. These pieces of media are about 1/2 inch long, maybe 1/4 inch in diameter, and I'll go ahead and give you an idea of how this media actually floats, or in this case it doesn't float all that well. You can see why it's called a sinking bed media, because it does sink. So the purpose of my wanting to do this review is getting back to the media itself, and I'm showing it to you here again. Now, this media, I think, is a good media for biological filtering. That is, it's got some great surface area that allow it to get the right kind of bacteria growing to remove the ammonia and the nitrites in your pond for conversion to nitrate. So it's really good as a biological filter. The challenge, however, as I have seen it, is on the mechanical filtering piece. If you're going to use this as a mechanical filter, because these things are hollow, it does have a tendency to clog with debris from the pond. And that means that when you go to backwash this media, you have to make sure you do a really good job of doing it well enough to ensure that you're not getting an accumulation of debris within this media. My pond, I usually run my pond between 1 and 2 horsepower. I have a 7,000 gallon pond. In normal operation mode, I usually hit it with between 1 and 2 horsepower pumps, moving about 4,500 gallons an hour. So I'm turning the pond over basically every 1.5 to 2 hours. But when I go to backwash this media, I have a variable speed pump, a 3-phase variable speed pump, and a front end that uses a variable frequency device that allows me to vary the speed of that 3-phase motor. I have a 3 horsepower motor that I dial down, as I said, to 1 to 2 horsepower for normal operation mode. And then when I go to backwash, I hit this thing hard with the full 3 horsepower to ensure that there is no backup or clogging going on within this media. It's so important to make sure that that doesn't happen, because if it does and you don't know about it, you can get some really nasty anaerobic bacteria forming, causing some hydrogen sulfide, which is really going to hurt the health of your fish. You'll start to get ulcers and sores. And so it's very, very important that you backwash this media extremely well to ensure that you don't get that clogging effect. Other than that, I think the Aqua Ultima II 10K is a great filter if you just understand the best ways in which to use it. In my case, I don't use it as a mechanical filter at all. I have a bead filter in the filter chain prior to this, so that I make sure that the water going into this filter is very, very clean, so that I could take advantage of the great things it does on the biofiltration side of things. So I put very, very clean water into this, and then I let it do its best work on the biological side by building up that bacteria without worrying about a lot of clogging. But still, when you backwash this thing, you got to make sure that you're backwashing well enough to avoid clogging in the sinking bed media that comes with this filter and comes with the design. Hope this is helpful. Let me hear from you if you have any questions. You know how to enter your comments below. Thanks again, guys. Bye.